surprise, surprise. I wanted to hop on for a little bit and respond to an inquiry that came in. Actually, this was about 2 weeks ago. Um, I've been thinking about what this young lady's been saying, and I wanted to respond to it. Now, she says, she wrote me, um, what's this, the dated August 9th. So you see, I'm kind of late. I'm late responding, but I did want to address this. She says, I watch your videos and find you to be very insightful on a variety of topics. I know this is for dating advice, but I'm hoping you can do a video on why black women of all ages are so vicious towards each other and why so many lack sisterhood. I'm a black woman in my 30s and I find it really difficult to develop sisterhood bonds with other black women. It's always something. I recently found out an older black woman at my job who I thought was classy and seemed to have that Michelle Obama grace. Turns out all along she was faking in my face to get in my business to spread it. Luckily, I was smart to tell her small things I figured weren't really worth spreading. Nothing about my family, etc. I only discussed my passions and goals that I'm trying to reach, and I got her thoughts on a long distance relationship I was recently in. This woman is in her 50s, but still turned out to be a childish hater. I'm thinking maybe she had it out for me all along because she is a race first woman and she knows I'm only attracted to non black men. Anyway, I'm hoping you can do a video on our hatred towards each other. Well, first of all, hey everybody. Yes, right. Hit the like and hit the share. All of that. Um, I cannot say this is an across the board thing because, it's too many sisters that do have their minds right. We were, I was late. This woman is crazy. There's too many women that they have their minds right. They all about the sisters. They're there. And unfortunately, though, I mean, you can choose your social circle. You know what I mean? You can choose, who you're going to be friends with, who you affiliate with, who you hobnob with after work, on the weekends, all that stuff. You have choices there. What you do not have a choice about is who you're related to and who you work with. Because those two areas are outside of I mean, unless you like the big boss, you know what I mean? And you the one hand picking your staff, you just a staff member. There's somebody else is hiring the people that they think are going to fit in, that's going to do a good job based on their standards. You really have no input in that. You have no choice. So you're going to be in an environment where people might, look like you, but they're going to come from all different kind of perspectives, be all different kind of religions, have all different kind of self-esteem, have all kind of different life experiences. And so it's kind of it's the luck of the draw if you happen to meet somebody that you can really form a bond with in an environment like that. It's just, you just have no control over it. So her question about this woman who's in her 50s when acting all graceful and everything, and then started to turn into a hater. It could very well be that she's one of those nothing but a black man type, which a lot of women in that age group are. I mean, this whole thing about interracial dating and intercultural relationships and all this stuff is a relatively new thing. I mean, black women did it, that are now in their 50s and 60s and stuff, but it's just now like in the age group of, the 20s, 30s and under, really become an issue where it's recognized as a phenomenon in the black community. You see what I'm saying? So most likely you're right, and that was one of her triggers, that she's just not down with the swirl. So you're asking her for advice about something to do with a man that's not black. She's not really feeling all of that, and instead of just saying that, she want to act childish and stupid. But really, I'm going to say this to every young person. If you're starting out in your career, because of what I just told you, you don't know what kind of persons you really dealing with just because you work together. Do not ever be telling heifers your personal business. You know what? And I have to admit this too. Because you're in this position sometimes where, people, you're in a position with coworkers, right? And they're expecting, and the boss too expects you guys to get along. Part of that getting along is gonna them feeling like they know something about you. Deb will lie like a motherfucking rug. I'm not telling them folks my business. It's none of their concern what I do, what I know, what I have, who I know, where I've been. None of that is relevant in my mind to my job. So, people they want, oh, well, what did you do this weekend? I just make some shit up. Oh, well, are you seeing someone? Sure. Well, what's his name? Okay, like if I tell you his name, you gonna know? Make some shit up. Oh, well, what do you guys do? Make some shit up. I mean, you just have to, don't get too much into your feelings about it and feel like you have to tell these people all your concerns. I don't even tell them how old I am. It's none of their business. I've shut people down and told them, you're not okay. Hold on, y'all. How do I do this? Okay. Yep, that's what happened. I don't want anybody here trying to pick up on the women. Come on, dude. It's not even that kind of party. We don't do all that here. We are here to talk about serious things. And, he can listen, but he can't chat no more. Yeah, you got to keep your personal life personal. And, so many times I've heard things like people who, are silly and tell people stuff. That comes back to haunt you. And it's like, you can't you can't just go into a job and be so blindly trusting. Even employers will sometimes use things against you. You have to be very careful about what you say. And my motto is I just tell them, I only tell them stuff that's public knowledge. Like if they Google my name, there's going to be certain things that's going to pop up. And so I might tell them that because I mean that's everybody already knows that. But all the personal stuff that's not out in the public domain, I keep my mouth closed. I don't tell them nothing. It's none of their damn business. You got to be careful about that. You think you being all friendly and all this old stuff, and it's just going to turn up later. You try to get you've been talking about your kid's sickness or your mama's being sick and how you caring for them and you doing this and that and blah blah blah. Next thing you know, you up for a promotion, right? They're not going to give it to you because they're going to use that as against you. It's like, well, you have that sick child to deal with. And then what you gonna say? Because your big mouth, you did that to yourself. You know what I mean? So you don't just keep all your shit to yourself. Once you go inside that door, you become a blank slate. There's nothing about you that nobody knows. They don't need to know. They could just imagine something. Yeah, so somebody say they talk about their dogs. That's what I'm talking about. You talk about it like, if you're on a bowling league, you can talk about that. You can talk about I don't know, some book you read or something. You talk about what you heard on the news. You talk about some shit you read on social media. You talk about I don't know, some just anything, recipes, cooking, how you taking a class or something, you trying to learn something. Those things do you well in jobs. If you talk about that, oh, I'm gonna take a class. I'm gonna learn how to, bake cookies or something. I'm taking class to become a baker, and so then you bring in some of the cookies that you made during your taste test and stuff, and they be like, oh yay, Hercules, Hercules, stuff like that. So it makes you feel like you're part of the group, right? You're doing stuff, you're associating, you're being friendly, you're sharing snacks and stuff, but they don't need to know nothing else about it. Like they want to know, well, where where do you take your class? Oh, just around. They don't need to know that. Next, they're gonna be up in your class and trying to like do all the stuff that you're trying to do. Oh yeah, do not talk about going to baby showers and bridal showers and lingerie parties and all this stuff. Do not talk about that kind of stuff at work. Talk about nothing sexual, nothing that even has a remote inkling about anything to do with sex. Don't do it. Keep your mouth closed. Somebody got because they're gonna be. Oh, did you have a stripper there? Why did they need to know that your friend had a wedding, a bridal shower? and that you were going, why did you talk about that at work? See what I mean? It's like you got to keep a very strict line between your personal life and what goes on at work. Bringing in little innocuous things is what you do. Oh yeah, they be telling everything. They be telling their soul and stuff, and I just sit there like, really? Wow. That's all I do. I don't be telling them no details. And you can't, and that way then they'll never have any dirt on you. And anything that they do say, it'll all be, rumors, gossip, and made up shit. In which case, it can't bother you and it can't hurt you because baby shower, well, I said bridal shower. I meant to say baby. I meant to, I said baby, but I meant to say bridal. They both start with a B. Yeah, them toy parties. You know what I'm talking about. Don't mention any kind of stuff like that at work. Don't do it. And don't be gossip about your friends or your family at work either. Don't just keep your mouth closed. If you're going to talk to them, talk about work. Talk about your dogs, your cat, your guinea pig, your hamster, your pet rabbit. Shit like that. We have turtles, right? I often will talk about the turtles. Even though they don't say anything, they are very expressive and intelligent animals. So, they know how to communicate to us. Trust me, we know just what they want. It's the amazing thing when you really get to know a different species than you might normally interact with. They're very smart, very cuddly, um, very into being cuddled and held and snuggle bugged and all of that. They love that shit. You were being too honest. Well, yeah, usually it only takes one time. It takes one time and then you get stung and then you realize that was a mistake. But a lot of people are dumb and they just get stabbed over and over and over and over and over and they just never know when to keep their mouth shut. Women in general talk too fucking much. They just talking all the goddamn time. It's like can't stand for there to be silence in a room. You got to fill the silence with some words. You just can't. What you thinking? What you thinking about? Oh, well, why are you so quiet? Okay, can't people be quiet? Yeah, can't co-worker happy hours unless it's your last day or your birthday or something. See, that's what I'm saying. It gets into a political thing where sometimes you have to kind of bend, not like bend the rules, but you got to stretch them a little bit. Okay, it's your birthday, right? Your beloved coworker. They want to take you out for a drink. Dare you say no? I would not advise that on a political level because then it looks like you're snubbing them. Okay, that's going to come up in your review. Trust me. So you go, well, I'm not really good for drinking during the week. That's how I always got out of it. So I'll stay for one drink and then I need to go home because I can't, that just, you guys will be trying to get me drunk. You make jokes about it, whatever. And then you have that one drink, you toast your birthday, make that one drink last an hour. And then you say, oh, look at the time. I've got to go. And then you get up and you leave. Your boss said you weren't a TV. That's what I'm telling you. You gotta lie. You gotta lie. And I'm just saying just make up some shit. Just make up some shit. And that's what I'm telling you. They will play it against you. It's a political move. You have to do something. But I'm telling you, don't tell them all your knee deep business. Like the lady who said she talks about her dog, that's perfect. You in a softball team, that's perfect. You in a bowling league, that's perfect. You learning how to play tennis, that's wonderful. You join the gym and you working out now, you want to talk about your trainer and how fine he is and the exercise he made you do? Absolutely perfect stuff. But see what I mean? It's like general, it's basic, it's bullshit. It's nothing that they can use against you in your work. Okay? But then let's talk about this. Yeah, don't be friending them. Don't do that. Okay, so then, she wants to know, well, why do women seem like they hate each other? They do hate-ish things. And my conclusion is that what you're dealing with is a lot of women who are basically in competition with other women for male attention and validation. But no matter what other 999 reasons you may give, when they all boil down, it's that one reason. They're in competition with you, or they imagine that they are. And so they'll say things like say a man is seeing two women, right? and they know the women know about each other. Well, now a woman with any sense, if she wants to have a relationship just for herself, she's going to just bow out. I mean, it's like, okay, well, I'm not, I'm not about that life, and so let me just, leave y'all alone because I really am looking for something else. But that's not what most women do. Most women will start to see this as a competition. They gonna, screw better than her, more often than her. They gonna have a better body. They gonna join the gym. They gonna lose weight. They gonna change their hairdo. They gonna buy fancy, expensive lingerie. They gonna get a tattoo. They gonna get a tummy tuck. They gonna get a butt lift. They gonna get implants. They gonna do all the stuff to change themselves physically because they think that that's the only way that men will judge them, by their physical appearance. And they want to, feel like they're winning the man. They're winning in this competition for this man over some other woman. And the bottom, you guys don't realize, I mean, that's what the guys, they want that. They want, it makes them feel like they big, some big time or something. And it's so bad that, and we've talked about this on the channel. The mothers who are getting, on in years, they're in their 50s or whatever, sometimes even younger than that, 40s, and they're not popping as much as they used to. They got fat rolls and, chins, and they got, meat hanging and, belly bulges and all the stuff. So they're not the pop mama they used to quite be. But then they see their daughter, and she has the body they used to have. She's prettier than them. Her hair is longer. She got more men, whatever. And they, instead of saying, oh, look at my baby go, and sharing some techniques that maybe keep her from making some of the mistakes that they made, they instead try to set up a competition with her, like, like they're better than her, they're sexier than her, they could get more men than her. I mean, there's some of them go after the girls' boyfriends and be, walking around with their titties out and stuff when the boy comes over. All kind of just crazy shit that I've seen and heard about. And it, bottom line is it's competition. They want to one up you. They want to be viewed by men as better than you, more worthy than you. And so that's also part of that thing about where they, you're single and, you don't have no man. You ain't married. At least I got a husband. At least I got a man, that kind of thing. In their minds, they're competing with you. And it's like, ain't nobody trying to compete with you. Half of nobody give a shit what you do and who you do it with, when you do it, how long you do it, or where you do it either. I just, no fucks given. But they just don't, seem to understand that. So, some of the things I wrote down, I made scribbled notes. Um, when women think their prime is limited, their prime, they're at the end. And this is reinforced by these dudes that run around talking about the woman has hit a wall. Okay, so those women listen to that and then they believe that. And so for them, once they reach a certain age, they feel like they have to try harder. And a lot of them will get really desperate looking and acting and just acting stupid. And will feel like, oh yeah, they worry a lot about their man leaving them for a younger woman. Not a woman who's smarter, not a woman who got more money, not a woman who's better in bed, a woman who's more of a partner, more understanding, it's all about looks and sex. So for them, if a woman is younger, that instantly means that you know, she's gonna be, in competition. I'm sorry, I got a little bit distracted because I just looked at the screen and somebody said um, their mother threatened to take the boyfriend when she was in high school. See, perfect example of what I'm talking about. Who does that? And my thing is, if the boyfriend could be taken, then have at it. Just understand the repercussions of your actions, which means that you and I are no longer mother and daughter because that's some straight bullshit. And your ass is old and you that desperate you trying to fuck around with a high school student? Bitch, please. They hit the moon. They in here clowning. It's like they don't hit no wall. They hit the ceiling. And somebody else came back and said they hit the moon. Damn, y'all are just like savage. Well, yeah, because they do. You look at their pictures and they be saying, "Oh, I'm 27," and I'm looking at them. I be like looking up close, like, "Well, damn, what happened to you?" When I was a 27, I still looked like I was in high school. These dudes be looking rough, like rough, rough, rough. like a dog, in other words. Um, there are women who feel that other women control their man's and his sexuality. Now, how do they do this? How they portray this? These are the women who say, well, us women, we need to get together because if no woman messed with a married man or a man in a relationship, then they couldn't cheat. Whoa, whoa, partner. Wait one cotton picking minute. It is not up to any woman on this world to police your man's dick. That's your man's job. Okay? And if he ain't a good at it, or he's failing at it, or anything, miss, hey, Bedwinch, hi. He ain't doing his part. And so don't be blaming other women. Blame him, because that's the one who is messing over you. And it's like, these chicks, I don't know, they be killing me. But again, that's a thing where, they're in competition with you. And in their mind, they're in competition and they feel like you're supposed to help them secure this relationship and secure this man. And I'm like, psh, I don't have nothing to do with that. I mean, I don't want nobody who's married in a relationship or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, don't ask me to do anything that's going to police your man like he's a child. I'm not going to do that. That's between y'all and you need to handle that. I don't get into people's relationship. The only time they do is when they write to me for advice. I say what I got to say, but it's still on to them if they want to do it or not. I don't, I'm not in that kind of, I don't be living like that. So I don't advise anybody take that, assume that responsibility for some other woman's man. Don't do that. Um, Women think that their beauty is based on luck as opposed to something that she controls. Now, essentially what that means is if you want to feel like you in competition, you control that. You learn how to do your hair, learn how to do your makeup. You know, don't be hating on somebody else because they look good. Oh, she thinks she all that. That bitch now, she only like that because she mixed. She light skinned it or something. I've heard all kind of excuses. But it's like, that has nothing to do with it. Every one of us can be the best us that we can be. And if you're not going to spend more time complaining and bitching and moaning and comparing yourself to some other woman than you are on developing yourself to be the best person that you can be, well, then there's your problem. The problem's not with them, it's with you. You are not, you're not really self-actualizing the way that you should be. You're looking outward and you're trying to condemn other people for looking their best, and you feel like you need to compete against them, and you do it in a way that puts them down to try to make yourself feel better. And that's just childish and silly and cowardly. Get your ass to the hair salon or something. Join a gym. There's no reason for you to have five bellies, shit hanging all down into your lap and shit. You got them back fat rolls and stuff. Do something with yourself. And then you get mad when somebody's slim and trim and she's wearing short shorts and you look got thighs full of cellulite and shit and been having that shit and you're only 25 or 6 years old. See, no, at that age you're supposed to be hot, popping, smoking. There's no reason for you to be looking any kind of way other than your best, especially at that age. Cutting her eyes with other girls, see, insecure like a mug. And then and don't do shit to promote herself and better herself. Some women feel that other men can take something that they feel like they worked hard to earn, like using their beauty on the job, in the school, in the legal system, because their man will be taken in by some other woman's beauty. And my thing is this: if you really are that concerned about your man and his mind is that weak and his self-resolve and self-control is that weak, so that you sit there and feeling worried that as soon as a pretty face go by he gonna dip out, then you need a different man. I mean, why is that someone else's fault? Don't be hating on her because your man looks at her. That's his doing. It's his choice. He chose to do that. And there's women who are the most beautiful women in the world, and their men still look at other women because they're pigs. Okay? Just massaging those edges, you a mess. But I don't even know what to say. I mean, this kind of stuff is so bothersome. Your brother does that? Wow. Well, he's gonna fuck up his daughter. And yes, it does. Cause honey, I've seen. She said makeup works wonders on people if you aren't naturally pretty. See, me, I think everybody has something about them that's pretty. You might not have like the best everything, but there's something about you that is mesmerizing. You just have to figure out what that is. And some people have, like, they might have, not that great features, but they do have beautiful eyes, or they have, beautiful hair, or they have beautiful hands, and, their legs is gorgeous and long and, shapely and stuff. They got great calves and whatnot. So they look fabulous in a mini skirt and shorts and stuff. And other people have, very nice silhouettes, hourglass figure or whatever, but they might be kind of mugged in the face. Okay, well, kind of work on this and, do a little something with your makeup or whatever. And your hair. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, just don't complain about what other people look like. Do something to make yourself feel better. If you feel like you're in competition with other people, then compete, put yourself in the competition and do your best. Don't be mad on the sidelines looking like, some fool. Okay, who is this? Let's block her. You do not come in my chat mention those fucking assholes, Tempest. That's so fucking rude. And then she gonna think the shit is funny. That is not funny. Do not ever mention some clown ass nigga's name in my chat. Now you done been really fucked up. Why can't I block her? There we go. It's your punishment. You don't get to type shit else in my chat. Now. Yeah, you do. You have to maximize your desirability. Exactly. I mean, you know what I mean? But just put forth, just be the best you that you can be. Because everybody's not going to look like, top quality um, person. But, I just hate, and then she got to mention the most ugly ass fucked up fucker in the world in my chat. Rude ass bitch. I swear to God. People have no fucking home training. Who's coming somewhere talking some bullshit. I think these people are doing this shit on purpose. They just want to name drop on my chats because my shit's blowing up. They want to have, some tag in it. That's what I think. All right. A lot of women feel like no other women can be trusted, right? They can't trust a woman because they gossip too much. They phony. They'll take your man right in front of your face. I repeat, if your man can be, quote, taken by some other woman, then he wasn't yours in the first place. Okay? He wasn't yours. Nah, she messed up my whole night. But you know what? She messed up her whole night because she can't be in my chat no more. So there. I don't care. My thing is, you know what I mean? Like I said yesterday, there is some shit that you just don't do. You don't go to some Italian restaurant and you start talking about, Shakey's Pizza or some shit. I mean, there's just things you just don't do. You know what I mean? You with some dude and you talking about some other dude. I mean, what is that? So that's the same thing I feel here. Know your manners and have some fucking decorum. You come in somebody's house, which this is like my house, and then you talking about some knickknacks in my house, bitch, your ass is tripping. You don't do shit like that. That shit is fucking rude. And it's dusty. So, there's nothing worse than some dusty ass bitch. We gotta deal with enough of some dusty ass niggas. Now I gotta deal with dusty hoes too? God damn it. My lungs are filled with dust. I'm tired of this shit. It's gonna make me have to use my inhaler. Anyway. Okay, so they feel that other women divert attention away from them. They get jealous because, like you in a room with a bunch of people, right? And they feel like, look at her. She thinks she all that and stuff. And so this might be someone that you work with. This might be someone that you associate with and, on a social level. It could be all kind of stuff. So, they might present themselves to you in a very nice way so that you don't know, what their real agenda is. But little things will come out and you'll know. I'm sorry. I have a bad temper. I told you all I have a bad temper. Shit, and this is good compared to how it used to be. I've mellowed out. It's just too much fucking dust flying everywhere. But anyway, um, some women feel like if they look like somebody else, right, that they could get her life, her rings, her man, and people look at her with the same kind of admiration. So you have all these women, and this is something that really just bothers me too. That I noticed this trend. Like, first of all black women was getting on these blue contact lenses, right? And dyeing their hair blonde because they thought that's what niggas liked. And then everybody want to get, butt augmentation and boob augmentation and then dye their hair blonde and get their man's name tattooed on them and all stuff. So it's like monkey see, monkey do. It's like, can y'all have like your own style? I mean, why you got to feel like in order to be a part of the competition, you have to look and dress and act and speak like everybody else? That drives me crazy. Have I ever been to jail? Not yet. Deb has claustrophobia. But I've done everything. Like, okay, so this is the line right there to get you put in jail. Deb is like right here. I'm not here or there. I'm good. I'm going to do just enough to get my point across without crossing the line to get the cuffs. No cuffs, thank you. I think it's horrible looking, but blonde hair on black women, I just don't get it. And that whole thing about the blue contact lenses, that was real big in LA. I'm in California. I used to spend a lot of time in Los Angeles. In the 80s, honey, that was the trend. And then it kind of morphed around and went around the rest of the country. But way in the 80s, them chicks in LA was having blonde hair and blue eyes. That was the thing there. They always start like sister locks, all that stuff started in LA. Tree braids, all that stuff started. All that fakery started in Los Angeles, where the land of fake things and movie stars and fake business cards and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, not yet. There's always time. We have a bright and happy future in front of us where that could happen. In which case, I will let you all know. I will send a text. Okay. Um, so what was her original question? Shoot, I forgot now. Y'all have me all sidetracked on stuff. Yeah, them blue contact lenses, honey, that shit was freaking me out. And the green ones too. And so, I used to go in and out the clubs a lot, right? So I'm in there looking at these people, and they were like, because the clubs are dark, right? Did you see all these people with these cat eyes glowing and shit? I'm like, niggas, really? What the fuck is this? And they walking around here thinking they were just so delicious looking. And I was just like, oof, you look a hot mess. You look like some kind of demonic something. I don't know what that was. Break out, girl. I'm going to talk my ass out that. You don't understand. Ah, I got out of a speeding ticket one time. I was going about 150 miles an hour. I had a new Maxima. I have to tell this story. I had a new Maxima. And I was driving. And one time I did get away with it. I went from downtown Oakland to where I lived, way in the valley, in 12 minutes from when I started my engine to when I was pulling into my parking space. And that's a good 30 miles, 40 miles or something. I don't know. I was just flying. So anyway, so one night, I'm driving on the freeway and uh, I was speeding in my new Maxima. And that sucker had 6 cylinders. It could move. I love that car. So suddenly, in my rearview mirror, I see the lights. So you know how your blood freezes? I'm like, fuck. How am I gonna get out of this? Because after you go a certain amount of speed, then they take your car. I mean, you know what I mean? It usually just be like drama. So this cop comes up to my window and I'm laughing my ass off, and he's like, what's so funny? I said, I don't know what to tell you. So then he's like, well, you were, um, you were speeding. I'm like, oh yeah, I have no doubt I was. And he said, well, what's your hurry? I said, I'm trying to make it to the bathroom before I have an accident. instead of with a straight face. And so he was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." Now, see, just like this is when I was working as a trainer, right? And I had a client just that day, so it was still fresh in my mind, who had started on some high blood pressure medicine called hydrochlorothiazide, which is a diuretic. And so, we spent a lot of time talking about it and, how it could get her muscle cramps, that she had to keep her fluids up and her potassium and all. I gave her the whole lecture about the use of that medication and how it might impact her as we went through the weight training. So, I told him, make sure you keep your potassium up, you get muscle cramps. So, this was all fresh in my mind. This had happened like earlier in the day. So he's like, saying, well, so why? I said, oh yeah, I got to make it to the bathroom, officer. This is like an emergency. And he's like, well, what's the problem? I said, I started this new blood pressure medication today, and I knew it was a diuretic, but I just went to the bathroom before I left. I've only been on the road about 20 minutes, and I'm already have to go again. And this is just like, this is really, I don't want to mess up my car. So I was trying to make it to that exit up there, so because there's a gas station up there. And so he looks, he see the gas station. I'm telling you, like I'm a sociopath. But I did not want my car towed, and I did not want to get no $500 speeding ticket and have to go to court. I mean, it was going to be a hot mess if I didn't get out of this ticket. And so he looked at me and he says, how do what's the name of the medication? He went to his car, called it in on the radio, and asked the girl to look it up and tell him what it was. So she told him, I could hear it, on the loudspeaker thing. Oh, that's a blood pressure medication, and it's a diuretic. It makes you urinate excess fluid from your body. So he comes back to my car, and he says, what you told me checks out. I'm going to let you go this time with a warning. There's the gas station up there, just go off the freeway there and go in. So in case he was watching me, I went to the gas station, I went into the bathroom, laughed my ass off, stayed in there about 5 or 6 minutes, and washed my hands and fluffed my hair and whatnot, and came out, and that motherfucker was sitting right there in the gas station too. And he's like, are you okay? I said, oh yeah, I'm great, officer, thank you so much. That would have been such a mess in my brand new car. Can you imagine the smell? And he was like, oh yeah, and so I got out of that shit. So I'm just telling you, sometimes you just have to lie. That's just the way it is. And so, with this whole thing here, though, when we were talking about earlier about dealing with people at work, you do not. I know it's just like everything fell into place because I would have never known that about the medication. I wouldn't have had no story for dude. And then the fact that he went back and checked my story out, checked out the medication. See, I'm telling you, it just everything fell into place, and I was saved. After that, I stopped speeding because I said, okay, we made it one time, and this is the second time. The third time you strike out. So I stopped after that. I know when not to push the button, and so that was that. But yes, honey, I still think about that. He called to check. He did. He went to his car and radioed it into the dispatcher and had her look it up on the internet. I'm telling you, I was like, wow. I didn't expect that he was about to play my ass, but you know, that's what happened. And so, I had to do the PP dance, and I'm just, yeah, I swear I could have got an Academy Award. Yes, he did. He followed me to off the freeway to the gas station, and then waited for me to come out. So I'm glad I did do that. The new medication that does that is lisinopril. Okay. Well, whatever. I didn't know anything about that, but I'm just saying. If I hadn't had that detailed conversation with my client and said that word like probably 50 times during that conversation, I would have never remembered that shit. But I sure did, and that was wonderful, and that saved my ass. So, anyway, that's what I wanted to say. This thing about being in competition with other women is fruitless. Men just think about how many different kinds of cars there are. How many different kinds of, I don't know, burgers you can make. How many kind of different ways you can fix eggs. That you can, I don't know, burritos, I mean, whatever. I mean, there's just different kinds of pies. I mean, think of the variety of things, and then we all like certain things, and other people don't like those things. They like something else. It's the same way with women, it's the same way with men. You ain't gonna get everybody's eye. You're not gonna get everybody that you want. Everybody that you like is not gonna like you back. They might be looking for something different. I mean, you might be a beautiful woman, but they're not looking for your kind of beauty. They want something else. Maybe you're too tall. Maybe you're too short. Maybe they want somebody thicker than you, and you're very slim like a model. And then here comes a guy, he doesn't likes the skinny girls, and so, but you're not skinny enough. But even though you're slim, he likes them like skeletal looking or something. I mean, you just never know. Some dudes go for legs, some men go for boobs. They don't care what your legs look like. They just want a nice, the chest area is all they think about. Some dudes are butt men. They're not too bothered about the mug. They all about what's in the booty. I mean, dudes like different things. But if you constantly being in competition with a woman to think you're going to get every man's attention that you want and getting angry at her because he's not paying attention to you, that's stupid. Okay? You a chocolate pie, he likes lemon meringue. You apple pie, he likes pumpkin, sweet potato, whatever. I mean, just think of it like that and stop getting in your feelings about every damn thing. Leonard, exactly. I ain't for everybody and everybody ain't for me. Exactly. That pretty much sums it up. And so this competition is really not necessary. This thinking that you are in competition for some nignog. And it's like, there's like 50 bazillion million men on this planet. And for you to think that you got to fight over this one is retarded. I know that word is politically incorrect, but you know what? I don't give a shit. I say what I think. It's stupid. It's retarded. It's dumb as hell. And you don't need to go, acting like that. Maintain yourself with some dignity and some decorum wherever you go. And you will get the attention of somebody that you might not normally get the attention of, but because you carry yourself a certain way. Some men are like that. They just want a woman who they appears to be classy. They're not really tripping on what her body or her, face looks like as long as she's fixed herself up. They don't have them like, ultra high, my babe got to be a 10 kind of standards. They just want a woman who's comfortable in her own skin and who's loving and honest and loyal. And, if you a good cook and stuff and can throw down in the kitchen and feed a nigga, they happy. And then you throw down in the bedroom, they out good as married. So it's like, you don't have to think about looking like anybody else other than yourself. Just do the best that you can do with you. Don't be walking around with your hair looking crazy like buckwheat and shit and thinking that, you can go out the house like that in house slippers and pajama pants and rollers in your hair and whatnot. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my God. So that's what I wanted to say on that, and respond to her little question about us not about us hating on each other. That's my summation. That's what I think it's all about. It's all about being a competition for a man. Makes no damn sense. None at all. So anybody else got anything else to say? No, I'll be back tomorrow. We got Tell It Tuesday going on tomorrow. Tomorrow, come here at 6 o'clock. We're going to do the advice letters of the week. And that's always an interesting experience. Always an interesting experience. I want to invite everybody to remember to subscribe to my, my YouTube channel. Excuse me. Right there on the bottom, you'll see it if you're watching this on Facebook or Twitch. You just slide on over to YouTube and become a subscriber. I'm trying to get up to 25,000. I think we're about 13 something now, and that's my next goal. And we'll be back, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with Tell It Tuesday, talking about everything that has to do with dating and relationships. And I will see you all then.